Look down through your window, no big city lights, just greenery. I don't know what you come for. Listen up, my dear, we're such a man free. Welcome to the land of many faces. Not one, not two, but 6 different races. You know when the sun kisses your skin, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N. Oh, that's my beautiful country. G-U-I-A-N-N. One people, one nation, one destiny. Don't stop for a minute. Come, let me take a walk with Brother Tiki. You'll see our landmarks and our monuments. They're so unique. The high brick structure, the lighthouse, the tallest wooden structure, the cathedral, 176th Street monuments, and the beautiful city hall. You know with the wind in your hair, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N. Oh, that's my beautiful country. G-U-I-A-N-N. One people, one nation, one destiny. Look down from your window, no big city lights, just greenery. I don't know what you come for. Listen up, my dear, we're such a man free. Welcome to the land of many faces. Not one, not two, but 6 different races. You know when the sun kisses your skin, you're in the right place. G-U-I-A-N-N. Oh, that's my beautiful country. G-U-I-A-N-N. One people, one nation, one destiny.
Singing in the US and Canada. I am coming back, man, be nice of Guyana. Singing in the US and Canada. I am coming back, man, be nice of Guyana. Me say pack up me grip and let me go. Me got to go back to Guyana some more. Me say we pack up me grip and let me go. Me got to go back to Guyana some more. Oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu, oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu. I am the very best of the Guyanese Babu. I am the very best of the Guyanese Babu. Oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu, oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu. I am going back to Guyana to find me one dollar in $40. I am going back to Guyana to find me $1 in $40. Me say pack up me grip and let me go. Me got to come back to Guyana some more. Me say fi pack up me grip and let me go. Me got to go back to Guyana some more. Oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu, oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu. I am the very best of them Guyanese Babu. I am the very best of the Guyanese Babu. Oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu, oh Bangali Babu, oh Guyana Babu.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. رب أسألك خير ما في هذا اليوم وخير ما بعده وأعوذ بك من شر ما في هذا اليوم وشر ما بعده. رب أعوذ بك من الكسل وسوء الكبر. رب أعوذ بك من عذاب في النار وعذاب في القبر.
Heavenly Father, as I rise to greet a new day, I humbly come before you with a grateful heart. Thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to experience this day. I surrender my plans and desires to your divine will. Guide me in every step I take, that I may walk in alignment with your purpose for my life. Grant me wisdom, strength, and clarity as I navigate the challenges and blessings that lie ahead. Fill me with your love, grace, and compassion, that I may be a source of light and encouragement to those I encounter. May this day be filled with your presence, and may I reflect your goodness in all that I do. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Om Gangadapataye श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया
Top of the morning to everyone tuned in to the Livewire. Today is Monday, 21st of August. As we wind our way down to the end of August and into September for our Heritage Month, there will be a lot on the cards there, and I'll give you an update on what to expect for Heritage celebrations this year. We do know so far that the Heritage Village will be Batavia in Region 7. So that's something definitely to look forward to. So persons who are interested in heading to that area for the heritage celebrations, just to give you a heads up, Region 7, Batavia. Top of the morning to all the persons tuning in already to the live. Really great to have you here. Tuli Harper, Sally Jones. I see Mr. Delroy Jacobs up early this morning listening to some of that Bangali Babu or Guyanese music. You know, I think that's from our very own Terry Gadraj. Sally Jones, good morning to you. Keith Adams and Jim Miller. Thank you guys for joining us so early. Shout out to all the persons joining us on YouTube, across the regions, in the Caribbean and the diaspora further afield. Good morning to all you guys. Zaza Ali, Augustus Andrews, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us so early. On a Monday morning as we start the week. But it's always good to start the week early, get up early, get things in perspective in relation to what's going on. Quite a few things for us to discuss this morning along the line of development. But before I get into that, I saw some worries in East Rumville sometime over the weekend. I must highlight it. Worries in East Rumville over the weekend, right? So y'all have a look at what's going on here, right? Annette Ferguson, I think Mr. Mahipal. There was also Mr. Shadow Legal Affairs Minister. Oh boy, what's his name again? Roysdale Ford, Senior Counsel. And I think this is Miss Lewis. All members of Parliament in East Rumville over the weekend. And I mean, look, just look at these photos, folks. This is the turnout when the opposition actually goes into one of their strongholds. Look at them. Look at the turnout there. Look at the turnout. What is it that I'm coming to tell people now in East Rumville? Because somebody share with me. What is it Annette is coming to tell persons in East Rumville at this point in time? Right? Ganesh, Roysdale, and Annette at People House in East Rumville. If y'all remember, these people didn't even want to support their candidates for this area in East Rumville there. They didn't even support the candidate. So now what are they going into these communities to say? And as normal, empty-handed, all they giving out is handshakes. You understand? It's almost time for persons to go back to school. These people couldn't get a little hamper or something to go into these communities with. That's all Roysdale Ford could come up with to this big lady who probably got children and grandchildren a handshake. He can make some contribution to the community or something, do a cleanup or something in the area. This is all persons from East Rumville could expect from their opposition members of Parliament that are representing them. And mind you, these are the photos that are uploaded to the APNU AFC social media, their Facebook page, right? The people didn't even come out to greet them, and for some reason, in these photos you see here, I've got some stray dog in the photo. I don't know if it's part of the entourage or what, But I got some straight out in these photos. What going on these people? Huh? From the look on this lady's face here alone, you know Anna telling her stupidness. Just from the look on her face alone, you know that Anna telling her stupidness. And you're correct, Sally Jones. You're quite correct. I am out of order. I am out of what happens to going with? They got no money. They got no money to spend on nothing. So what happens? Come on, Courdel. You gotta expect. You gotta do better. You understand? What Annette could be telling this lady? Annette got to ask your mask like you in the height of COVID. You understand me? And the look on the lady's face alone shows that, hey, Annette telling me bare stupidness right now. Bare stupidness Annette telling me right now. And you can't be vexed with her. You can't be vexed with her. These people were nowhere to be found during the LGE elections. You understand me? Nowhere to be found. Well, actually, Annette was about the place crying and stuff. I take that back. Annette was about the place crying. But y'all show me a photo of Ganesh, Roysdale, and Miss, I'm assuming her name is Lewis, the opposition member of parliament. This lady here, if anybody could help me with her name in the comments, I can't remember. But where were these people during the LGE? What possible this member of parliament could be telling this young man that is beneficial to him? She telling him about a scholarship. She telling him about a grant for his business, if that is his shop in the background. Is she telling him about some kind of opportunity for him to upgrade himself? She telling him about advances that they're going to make in his community? What this MP could possibly have to say to this young man? Right? What they could possibly have to say. And indeed, I don't know with that in the comments this morning. They look like the Wahapas themselves. Because you can't differentiate between them and the people who experiencing the outreach. All of them look like one. You understand? These three persons here look like they're from the same community and they see each other on the outreach. Not a government MP, or sorry, a member of parliament on the opposition side coming to this community to bring some sort of relief or to anything. Look at these photos. That's all they could muster in East Rumbell. And let's count it. So Ganesh, Roysdale, the man from the Minibus Association, and the guy in the blue. Let me knock out those set there. Those are visiting officials. That's it. You put a muster from the area. Jokers, a pack of jokers, a pack of jokers. Morning to my good friend Pat Moore, Akeem Evans. I was calling you, brother. Can't get a call back from you yet. But morning to you. Thank you guys for joining in on the live. But I had to let y'all see some of the nonsense they're doing there in East. Some of the nonsense. Where were these people when there was flooding in East? When the people in East needed the roads to get done? Why Ganesh, Roysdale, Annette and all of them don't go to City Hall and talk to Mentor and his goons that blocking the progress in the city? That's what they need to do. Go to City Hall and talk to those people who are stifling the people in East Rumbell there. Not giving them good garbage collections, the parapets dirty, then getting the streets are bad, they ain't got street lights, nothing. And these are people who are paying taxes. Then the mayor got the nerve to say 60% of the taxes collected. Where is the money going, Mr. Mayor? Or you got to go and check with your chief counselor to answer that question. Anyway, I made my point, and I just wanted to highlight to y'all the foolishness that they try to pull off in East Rumbell. Look at Tanya. Look at this lady's face here in this red vest. Literally, you could see this lady want to know what stupidness you're coming to tell me now. Huh? Look at that wearing her mask incorrectly. Big MP. Worries. A pack of worries. I keep telling y'all. These people are a pack of worries. A pack of worries. But anyway, we're moving on. We're moving on. So I wanted to share this with you. there will be an addition at there's going to be an addition at the Chedijagan International Airport. And just let me get these specifics. This will be a new commercial center which is under construction at the Chedijagan International Airport. It will include additional restaurants, food concession, duty-free shops, cambio and cambio facilities. Right, this project is scheduled to be complete by March 2024. So again, we look and we see government focusing on development, right? Focusing on development. Government is not just promising willy-nilly. They completed the airport. Now they're adding a commercial zone so that persons who are traveling in and out of Guyana could be better facilitated. They could enjoy food. And with all these delays, this will come in handy. The fact that it will have restaurants and that kind of thing. This is something that will come in handy. Because with all these delays that we're experiencing, 14, 15-hour delays, 14, 15-hour delays, you have to have some place to get something to eat. So it's good to see that government is moving to have additional facilities at the Chedijagan International Airport, at Guyana's premier aerodrome, airport facility. And I think that is something very, very, very important. Right? I don't know of the Hotel Randolph, but they're working on having this commercial zone added to the facility there. And definitely, I agree. P for progress, triple the progress, triple the progress. Let's move on to the next clip. So in this one here, I want y'all to take a look. And that is a beautiful changing skyline of Georgetown in the evening. But we're going specifically to the gymnasium where we would have 3 courts constructed, one for basketball, one for lawn tennis, and one for futsal. Look at the additions made to these facilities to ensure that our athletes have a pristine environment in terms of bettering and honing their skills in these various disciplines. So hats off to the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport and the government of Guyana for implementing this in a timely fashion. So futsal doesn't have to be played on the main court inside where it's hot. You have an open air setting. You have seating available for persons who are interested in coming out and looking at these matches. And I think this is very important for the development of the game and the development of the country in terms of facilities to facilitate different disciplines in the sporting arena, right? I do remember a former director of sport claiming that 1 year is going to be lit. It's going to be lit. He's putting lights at all the sporting facilities, yet Minister Ramson had to come around and go to a lot of these fields. All right, Amanda, you go ahead and get ready for work. The live is there. You can watch it at any time during the day. But the minister had to come back and put in all these facilities, put in lights at Buxton and all those grounds, upgrade the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, ensure the synthetic track is completely in them. There's a synthetic track that is under construction in Region 6. There's a synthetic track in Lenora that was built by the PPPC administration. So these are some of the things I like persons to remember, because according to some people, especially Sherrod Duncan and Rick Berger, nothing is happening in the country in relation to development. And I am firmly against that, because we see it in all aspects. Guyana advancing, people earning more contractors, more infrastructure, more for education, more for tourism, more for health, more for indigenous people. Attention to the labor sector, training. We're seeing advancements in all spheres. So I like to let people understand where I'm coming from, and I like to show you the evidence so you can see. The final clip here I'm going to share with you, This is in relation to our um gosh, this is in relation to the alternate route, the alternate four-lane route that is running from Mandela to Diamond. It will also be linking with over on the East Coast, linking that whole East Coast East Bank corridor. Works have been progressing really smoothly with this project. So it is almost at completion. So let me give you a quick look at what's here as well. So this here is basically the roundabout. Well, that the roundabout at Eccles there. It's almost completed, so it could be opened fully to persons using this new four-lane route. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a little break in transmission, but the works are almost complete. Not structure. This four-lane carriageway that will be linking the East Coast to the East Bank, and as I said, it's the four lane from Mandela to Diamond. The roundabout in that area is almost complete, and it will also link the four lane highway from Oval East Coast, which will take us all the way to Diamond on the East Bank. And as you know, there are talks to have that extended all the way to the Tamiri International Airport or the Tamiri area there. So a lot of developments on the cards, and we can see our country moving forward in a positive direction. Now, I wanted to jump to In the Ring. I think this was the Friday's episode where um, Sherrod would have had Rick Frederick on the program, and he was responding to statements made by Vice President Dr. Jack Dio. Um, in relation to a seminar that is going to be held in Washington that deals with racist issues pertaining to Afro-Guyanese. Now, we all know that Rickford has been fingered in an extortion attempt where some local reporters were trying to extort money from a local businessman here. And we've heard of, you know, all the other attempts by this individual to mislead Guyanese whilst he lives overseas, and barely has any idea of what is happening in this country, but paints a picture of doom and gloom to persons who would usually um, tune in to his press conference, right? Now, looking at the statements made by Rick Ford and Sherrod about the racial and political dynamics in Guyana, I want to say, while discrimination and racial dynamics can be an important topic, it's essential to provide evidence and context to the claims that are being made. Without specific examples and data, it is difficult to determine the extent or the nature of these dynamics. And we see this as a recurring thing. David Hines, Mark Benchcott, and the Blow Brigade, when they come, they spew all these things about racism and Afro-Guyanese being disenfranchised and all these sorts of things that are happening in Guyana, but never provide any kind of concrete evidence to back up their claims. Now, you're saying Afro-Guyanese are being disenfranchised. Have you brought 5 or 6 of them to say, okay, these are the Afro-Guyanese that I'm talking about? They were disenfranchised in this sort of way, and we need to look into it. Rather, we have a lot of empty statements and empty claims being made by persons on the opposition side to just rile up Afro Guyanese. It was highlighted that the conference's goals, this conference that Rickford and his organization is hosting, it was highlighted that the conference had several goals, but no one provided specific details about how the conference will address these issues or the strategies that will be discussed. And I think it's important to scrutinize the effectiveness and the feasibility of the proposed solutions. So we, again, a lot of talk about hosting and meeting to solve an issue, but then no kind of concrete um, information on how you want to go about um, tackling this issue of racism in Guyana, right? Now, they went on to talk about rhetoric and a lot of rhetoric and accusations were thrown. The discussion centered around the accusations and counter accusations, but it is important to verify these claims with evidence. And again, no evidence presented in this regard. Intimidation was another aspect that was brought up in the discussion. Afro-Guyanese are being intimidated. Persons who speak out against government, they're being intimidated. I agree it is important to stand up against intimidation, but it's also crucial to remain focused on the substantive issue at hand and avoid personal attacks. Engaging in productive dialogue about policies and governance is more likely to yield a positive outcome. So you speak of intimidation, Rickford, no evidence again. And then you step away from the substantive issue of racial discrimination against Afro-Guyanese. And instead, you try to engage your MPs in the opposition so that they can engage government to deal with whatever you claim is this intimidation or discrimination that's happening. You are instead on social media spreading misinformation. Spreading misinformation. When it comes to the confronting discrimination, this is a valid concern. It is necessary to provide concrete examples, and I keep saying this. It is necessary to provide evidence and examples so that persons have something to go with, not just a feeling that you have or a narrative that you're trying to put out to upset persons without any base behind it. We continue to hear that nothing is happening in Guyana. We continue to hear that Afro-Guyanese are being disenfranchised. But again, you have the most Afro-Guyanese contractors since 2015 to 2020. And that was a pro-Afro-Guyanese government. Why did we have more contractors of Afro descent during that time? And if I remember clearly, the vice president at his press conference last week would have highlighted an Afro-Guyanese contractor who would have shared his woes under the APNU AFC coalition government. He couldn't get any contract. An established contractor with years of experience, years with equipment to conduct projects or to execute projects, but couldn't get a contract under the coalition. Now you have dozens of or hundreds of small contractors in communities across the country, Albistown, Linden, Denhamstel, Beirut, I call it predominantly Afro-Guyanese areas or areas that they claim to be their own. In these areas, establishing themselves as contractors, doing concrete roads and getting involved in development. That's something that didn't happen 2015 to 2020. Now, what is that going to do for the community in these contracts? One, they get the experience under their belt. Two, they're employing persons from the community to execute whatever project they're contracted to do. Three, because persons from that community are engaged in that project, you know for sure that they'll give you a better quality and they'll put more effort into it. Morning to everybody watching from Kuru. They'll care it. They'll care the project. So you hire men from Denhamsel to build concrete roads in Denhamsel. They know they got to drive on those roads. They know their neighbors got to drive on those roads. And that will encourage them to do a good job. That will encourage them to not have people dump sand and mud on the side of the road to cause it to lose its integrity. It brings economic activity to the community. Persons have spending power in the community because money is generated. The contractors being paid is from the community. The contractors paying workers there from the community. So you see a cycle that government is creating to generate income, create employment, and to build the capacity of contractors in the country. What can we contrast that to 2015 to 2020? What? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And even in cases where we have contractors violating, we see the government taking swift and stern action against them. Right? So let's jump over to leg one. So I wanted to share this with you guys. Minister Edgel again. Minister Edgel was in leg one doing some follow-up as it relates to the construction of the leg one stelling, right? The minister was there and he wasn't too happy with what he saw. So just to give you guys a quick look at, this is where the stelling is right now. And mind you, this contract for this stelling was signed in 2018, right? In 2018. So this is Minister Edgel doing a site visit there in leg one and taking the contractor to task for non-completion. Now, in relation to contractor accountability and government oversight, in this regard, the contractor is Mirage Contracting Services. And this contractor has missed multiple deadlines to complete the Laguan stelling project, which raised concerns about their ability to deliver on their commitment. The government's insistence on holding contractors accountable for their failure to meet deadlines demonstrates their commitment to efficient project management and infrastructural development. Now, this is not anything new in relation to Minister Edgel. Minister Edgel has been going around the country ensuring that Guyanese get value for their money in relation to these contracts that are awarded to contractors around the country, to ensure that Guyanese have these projects delivered to them in a timely manner, right? So again, Minister Edgel, in his normal fashion, goes about the country visiting various projects to ensure that there's quality and there's proper time management. Now, this Leguan stelling had quite a few cost overruns and budget management issues. The contract sum for the Leguan stelling project was increased from 413 million to 607 million since it was initially signed in 2018. This significant cost escalation highlights the challenges of managing project budgets effectively, right? And mind you, this is a seasoned contractor, a big contractor. And the small contractors knocking out their projects quickly. So when we have persons like this who not delivering, we got a lot of other contractors coming up who gaining the experience, delivering their projects in a timely manner and sticking to their budget. The government's refusal to provide additional funds to the contractor for completing minor works indicates a firm stance on budget management and preventing further financial strain on public projects. This contractor actually wants more money to finish this project. But I'm glad that Minister Edgell has taken a firm stance to, one, hold them to the cost that they initially discussed. You would have to create estimates. So how are you unable to deliver the project when, one, you had an increase from the initial cost, the increase was granted, and still we don't have a finished leg one stelling. So we see why Minister Edgell has to sometimes takes the stance that he takes with some of these contractors. The project delays, the project's delay and incomplete status have resulted in the public using an unsafe structure, which raises concern about the quality of workmanship and the potential risk to public safety. Minister Edgell's emphasis on ensuring the safety and reliability of the complete structure reflects government's responsibility to provide safe infrastructure for citizens. Now look at the major inconvenience this contract is causing to persons commuting from Leguan to Perica or Leguan to Bartica, Leguan to Supanam. All those persons using this spelling here are inconvenienced. It's incomplete, and multiple deadlines have been passed. So I'm pretty sure the minister will be looking at ways and means of recouping cost in relation to this inconvenience caused by this contractor. Minister Edgell's statement that there will be no shortage, that there's no shortage of contractors in the country who can complete the project, suggests that government is willing to explore alternative options if the current contractor cannot deliver. And that brings me back to what I just said. Government is ensuring that there's capacity building. So by ensuring that these small contractors are better able to deal with some of these large projects, it will ensure that we have more options other than contractors like this one who are unable to deliver in the time specified, increasing costs and still unable to deliver, right? And look, we have Randolph Randolph Khan is saying get the Chinese to do the work. But if government brings in the Chinese to do the work, you'll hear that they're stifling locals from getting the work. You understand? You'll hear that foreign persons are getting the work. Well, they have local contractors that can do it. But here again, we see another local contractor not able to deliver on what the parameters of the contract. The delays in completing the Leguan Stelling project have implications for the local communities' inconvenience, safety, and access to improved infrastructure. Minister Edgell's desire to deliver complete stelling to residents of Leguan underscores the government's recognition of its responsibility to serve the needs of its constituents. The government's approach, the government's response to the missed deadlines reflect this determination to ensure projects are completed within the stipulated time frame and avoid unnecessary delays. The minister's visit to the site and insistence on seeing the final aspects of work done signifies a hands-on approach to project management. And this was something that was recently done in relation to the construction of the Lethem to Linden Road. Now, as persons would know that the Lethem to Mabura stretch, that stretch is already under construction. But there are several bridges that take us from um, Kup- Kupapakari, I never get that name right, from Kupapakari to Lethem, several bridges. Now, those bridges are under construction. The Public Works Minister did a hands-on site visit to each and every bridge. And I'm telling you, because I was there, each and every bridge he stopped at to see where the construction was in relation to the timeline given, if the contractor was lapsing or cutting any corners. And several contractors were blazed, even some regional engineers and persons attached to the ministry. So it's not a case where he is looking at one aspect and ignoring the other. He's ensuring that guys get value for their money. So contractors who delay, contractors who don't have a proper work site, all of them were taken to task by the minister, because at the end of the day, he is responsible for public infrastructure. If one of those bridges crumble under pressure, the first thing they're going to say, Minister Ejel squandered the money, or he gave the money to some party person to build the bridge, and they didn't do a good job. So we see our Minister of Public Works on the ground ensuring that persons benefit from good infrastructure, and it is done in a timely manner. And I think that is one of the important things we need to note when we look at how this government is operating. There is a push for persons to be able to have value for money. So with all these projects that are happening, there's a lot of quality testing and reassuring that things are done to the highest standards. It's not like the coalition that would build a facility without taking to account the equipment to make the facility function. We don't have a government like that anymore. We have a government that is interested in the development of Guyanese and all Guyanese. As a matter of fact, we had over 600 women being engaged through the WIN program. And this program is aimed at empowering women through the ministry of Human Services and Social Security. They would have brought forward the Women's Innovation and Investment Network, right? And women in Region 3 from places like Parfait, Harmony, Port Rhine, Reading Hope, Crane, Lenora, all these areas were empowered on how to either start a business, home management, project management, social media marketing, entrepreneurship, child care for the elderly, garment construction, and graphics design, right? All these women in Region 3 are now trained in some aspect or the other. Across the regions 2, 4, 5, 6, and 10, some 550 women are engaged in these activities. Just hold. Hello, good morning. Yes, morning. Yeah, I'll have to call you back. Right. So, as I was saying, these are some of the things that are currently happening um, around the country. Empowering of women, the training of our youth. Now, I'm talking about BIT, the apprenticeship program, and all these things that the ministries have been putting in place to ensure that our people are trained. We look at goal, which has surpassed their target in relation to awarding scholarships before 2025. And these are some of the things that we need to take into consideration when we look and listen to some persons who are claiming that Guyana is not on an upward trajectory. to some of the persons who are claiming that government is doing nothing to advance the lives of Guyanese. When we see advancements on the coast and in the hinterland, we see investment in the Guyana Fire Service in terms of the appliances being upgraded. We have new fire stations in regions across the country. We see investment in the Guyana Police Force, more training, more vehicles for better response to issues affecting the citizens across the country. They're able to fight crime better. In Essequibo, there was an issue of the ranks not being able to go into some of those off-road areas. Essequibo now has two off-road or three off-road vehicles, pickups assigned to the Guyana Police Force so that they can go into these areas and address these concerns. Look at the police stations that are being constructed, reconstructed across the country. Uh, Providence, you have Rumvelt. Right now, Hook Police Station is under construction. Um, they're doing upgrades to the police headquarters there. Persons are being trained in forensic science in overseas so that they can come back here so that the investigative potential is greater. By the ability to investigate is greater so that they can convict persons who have been involved in crime. Look at the Guyana Prison Service. There's new facilities under construction. There's a drive to recruit persons. There's training for those persons. There have been programs to rehabilitate prisoners. So it's a holistic approach to the development of Guyana. And all those things go hand in hand with education, with infrastructure, with health, with tourism, with across the board agriculture. It all goes hand in hand. If we don't have an environment where the investor feels safe to come to Guyana and invest, they wouldn't come here. So despite the doom and gloom being preached by the opposition about what is happening in Guyana, crime and all this other stuff, if persons didn't feel safe, they would not come to invest. Although Mr. Rowley is talking about the Guyanese dollar, a lot of Trinidadians running here because Trinidad ain't got nothing for them anymore in relation to oil and gas. And I guess that might be bad management, Mr. Rowley. I don't know. I only spent a few years in Trinidad going to school. But I don't know. Could it be bad management, Mr. Rowley, that your oil and gas sector is in a state where most of the key players are now running to Guyana because there's nothing left there? And let's say oil and gas flops in Trinidad. What is there for you to fall back on, Mr. Rowley? You all have an agriculture sector that can take care of the needs of the Trinidad and Tobago population. I'm just trying to find out. You all have a gold and diamond sector. You all have lumber. You all have minerals, bauxite, and that kind of thing to fall back on. Y'all remember what happened to these heavily dependent on tourism countries during COVID, right? So when I hear persons like Mr. Rowley talking or making his jokes about the value of the Guyanese dollar, after one time is another, sir. After one time is another. So let's have this conversation in a couple of years again, um, when we see how this government continues to manage prudently and the fruits of good management come to fruition, right? Um, Trouble. So again, I'd like to remind persons: don't always run with the first thing you hear from the jerks and the Sharisha Duncans and them, right? Don't always run with it. Now let's jump over to Karasabai, where Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips was in this community, and he handed over some solar units, I think individual units, to several households in the area. The units consisted of a 160-watt solar panel, and it also has a charge controller, battery, and other basic fittings. This again shows you the commitment of government to bring persons on par with the coast, right? In addition, there proposed projects to have an ICT hub set up in the area, just like they did in, I know, Maracaibo, I know, Dark Point, and several other areas. They have their ICT hubs set up. And this helps the students in these communities, especially when they're studying, got homework to do. It's not always a case where parents are able to help these students with their academics. So, giving them an opportunity to have access to the internet where they can seek advice from um, persons online, or just research information in relation to the topic that they're dealing with, it puts them in a better position to um, absorb what the teachers are putting forward, um, even after the fact. So, and when I say after the fact, I'm speaking from the point of view of after the classroom session. Persons would know the importance of revising and going back to topics learned. So in the cases where they don't have that adult there to take them to those spaces, you have an online avenue where they can uh, go to seek additional information. Now, this initiative falls under the Solar Home System Project, which saw 30,000 units being acquired through a US 7.2 million line of credit between the government of Guyana and India via the Exim Bank. And these units will be distributed to hinterland households as well as several Amerindian villages along the coastline, right? So power directly to their homes. In some cases, in the bigger communities, there are solar farms, and then they would run the power to individual homes so that persons can, you know, have the convenience of having power in their homes, right? So hats off to the government. Continue to do good work and continue to keep the developments of the citizenry at heart when we see these initiatives being rolled out by the government. I did see on the president's Facebook page that there is a video of the alignment of the new Demerara River crossing. Let me see if I can pull that up quickly for you guys on President Ali's page. So if you might not see it clearly here, you can go on the president's Facebook page and have a look at the at the alignment of the new Demerara River crossing. So let me just pull that up on screen for you guys quickly so you can have a look. And again, this here speaks to the commitment by government to ensure development is seen across the 10 administrative regions. Now, as persons would know, this bridge would link region region 3 and region 2. And this is from the region 3 side. And just the white spot there, I think that's where the bridge is going to land. And the trajectory of the drone is taking you straight across the Demerara Harbor Bridge, showing you exactly where the bridge is going to run and the 2 points where persons can access the bridge for when they are traversing on the Demerara Harbor Bridge here, right? So again, works are moving apace for the construction of the new Demerara River crossing, and that is something persons can look forward to. And in Region 3 and Region 4, we know the hassle it is in the morning when you have to commute to Georgetown, and also um, when there's the need to close the bridge for for the purpose of vessels passing in and out. His Excellency was out this morning, reasoning with fisher folks at the Lenora Coca on the west coast. I have some photos here to share with you guys. His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali out early this morning, meeting with residents at the Lenora Coca. As you would know, government would have provided some assistance to the fisher folk who are experiencing some difficulties during that COVID time, and um, a lack of catch. I'm not too sure of the reason that was caused, the drop in the catch at some of these areas, but they were reassured at the time by Vice President Dr. Jagdeo that it had nothing to do with our oil and gas sector. And, in some cases, these fishing grounds need to be replenished from overfishing. But what I want to point out is look at our president. Look at our president meeting with the common man, listening to their issues. You understand? Short pants and slippers out there, in above the rest. In above the rest, he goes out there, he listens to the issues of the people, and then goes back and address these concerns. So again, hats off to our president, always on the ground, always doing work. I saw him the other day. I can't remember if it was Lenora, was it Lenora, in another area doing a walk about checking projects and things like that. And I think this is very important that people feel they have access to their leaders, and especially a leader like President Mohammed Irfan Ali, the president of this country, the person who's he's leading Guyana in the direction it's currently going in. You have some direct access to him to share your concerns, whatever they may be, and knowing that these concerns will be addressed, it can only augur well for the development, the further development of this great land of Guyana. So, folks, that's all the time I have with you guys today. I'm going to be leaving a little early this morning. I have some matters to address. Do join us again tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to come and give us an update on the Building Expo. As you know, that's going to be starting on the 24th of August at the Providence Stadium. And please make sure that you guys find some time to go and see what's happening there. I want to remind persons in Region 6, today is the final day for the BIT registration for the heavy duty equipment operators course up there in Region 6. So please, if you are looking at this now and you're interested, please get your application and get it in before the close of play today, or I should say the close of play, but the end of the working day today. At least by before 4 o'clock, get it in and see how you can get on the course. It is starting on the 28th of August. It's for 3 months, and this is for the heavy duty equipment operator, right? Through the BIT out of Ministry of Labor, right? Before I go, morning to all the persons who came on to the live again. Nirmala Pam Singh, Randolph Singh, good morning to you. Good morning. Tara, good morning. Quincy Anderson, I see you on the live. I saw Quincy on Reality Check yesterday. I don't know how many persons were able to view, but a lovely interview with the fire chief, highlighting how persons can prevent loss of life and property, and learning about some of the dynamics of the Guyana Fire Service. I'm wondering who he's going to be having with him next week. So you guys can also look out for that. The Reality Check on Sundays, 3 to 4 p.m. Right? Chitra Sukraj, morning. Sally Jones, morning to you. And all the other person, Babita Soma Bipath, morning, 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 morning. And thank you guys for joining the live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. So as I said, that's all the time I have for today. I'm going to be ending a little early, about 3 minutes early. Don't fight. But we'll be back here tomorrow with more information to share with you on what's happening in and around Guyana, and to debunk any misinformation being spread by those persons on the other side who like to lead people astray. That's why we're here, right? So until next time, Courdel Jones saying bye.
Coast of plain, in the hot sun of pouring rain, planting the rice and cane. Why oh, yes, we take off we boots and we put on we roots. Why oh, so the crabwood that grow and the SC cripple is we own. And the 6 o'clock bee and the Saki Winky is we own. And the lava that run from go by your gun is we own. And them all of our posts on the quarantine coast is we own. Wondering crab is we own. True leaf and ab is we own. Umanayana